Hello, welcome to Matrix Live for today, which is Friday, the 29th of June 2018. As you can see, I'm not your usual host if you're a regular viewer. Both Matthew and Amandine not available to record today, so I am everybody's favourite and only developer advocate in the Matrix core team, so I will be hosting this. I am Ben Pa. If you know me from the Matrix rooms, then you'll have seen me around there. So yeah, let's go. Let's get started. I'm going to go through the contents of the upcoming blog post, which is usually called This Week in Matrix. So what we're going to do is take a look at the big announcements of projects in the Matrix ecosystem in the last week or so. So Coma. So Radicus. I hadn't actually seen Coma in any detail before. This is a Rust client. And in the last week or so, he's basically updated this to use Java FX9. And I'm just going to confirm. Yeah, so basically this project hasn't been mentioned really at all for some time. So he says in the time since it was updated, experimental support for infinite scroll on the message list, and a rewrite of the list view to improve performance and reduce jar file size. I don't know how the upgrade to Java FX version 9 affects that anyway. What do we have? The venerable Verpo has released Matrix Dialogflow. This is, so Dialogflow essentially it allows you to create agents, chat agents, using an online tool. So with this, what he's built is a way to bridge those essentially into a Matrix room so that you can connect a Dialogflow agent to Matrix as a chatbot. Literally, that's what he says here. He says, I did this for my own personal purposes, but I know someone else might find this handy as well. The software itself comes with a Slack integration by default, so it's really good to be able to say, yeah, but we also have a Matrix integration. So yeah, that's going to be helpful for anybody who's already using Dialogflow. Matrix Telegram Bridge, so Chula written, and he said that they have now a basic Telematrix database import script. Very useful because I'm not sure what the maintenance status of Telematrix is. It seems to be that Matrix Telegram is the bridge for Telegram at the moment. Improved config for relay bot message formatting, including the option to use Matrix display names instead of just mixeds. Okay, great. Yeah. I've also been planning an improved Matrix Telegram formatting converter and provisioning API for integration managers like Dimension. Great. Next up we have Mauta, M-A-1-U-T-A. I don't know if that's more pronounceable in other languages. So he's been working on a very ambitious project, which is to essentially build every component of the spec. He's working in Java. And in the last week or so, he's been working on the client SDK. So he's released, as of this week, JM SDK, which is an early version of the Matrix SDK and common classes, so client, bot, and so on. So he says, currently implemented the Matrix client on Java with the full support of the C2S API. That's the client-server API. It's still under development and contains bugs. Nonetheless, this is a very ambitious project, and it's fantastic that people are producing new spec-based stuff. In particular, the CS API is fairly stable, and you'll be able to produce something really great with this. He says he's been working on a bot SDK with core classes to write custom bots and app services. What else we got? Max has been working on VoIP bridging between Matrix and regular phones using FreeSwitch. He says we have successful VoIP bridging between Matrix and regular phones using FreeSwitch for one-to-one, that is both directions. V0.1 is scheduled in a few days once configuration is possible, and a getting started doc is already written. He has big plans. Next steps include more voice backends, so Jitsi and so on, SMS support with Twilio, MXISD, so that's identity server integration to be able to invite bridge users if needed, and home service integrations to also join home service regular users if a VoIP bridge user invites them. So calls are more directly seen. And so on in later releases. There is a room. Please check out the This Week in Matrix blog post for more detail on that. So I'm very excited to know that there is a new home server project. This week we've met Betia, and they've introduced a new home server implementation in TypeScript, something I'm quite excited about because for me it's a lot more readable and I'm able to get on board and start running without a lot of integration or difficulty. So he says, I've been working on a home server implementation. It is fairly basic at the moment, but the development experience is straightforward and even fun. That's good for you. The current status of Matrix is, so we have working registration, login, create room, invite, and join. It says they seem to be functional using the right web client. A lot of functionality, however, is missing, and the software is definitely not ready for deployment in a public-facing role. He's also saying it's very early days, and he's very excited to have more contributions from the community. He's using Redis. Redis streams seem to have a very well thought out API, and the whole thing has been a fun experience so far. That's great. So we've heard a lot over the last few months or so about DSN Traveler, which is Florian's thesis project. Essentially, it's a bot which goes between rooms, and it maps out the nature of the way that rooms are linked within rooms publicly on Matrix. As of this week, he's had permission to release the source code on GitHub, which is what he's done. So check out the source code. You can find there's a URL, but you find this from the This Week in Matrix blog. And Fractal. Late breaking news. Fractal, where's the room? Yes, Tobias says, no new Fractal release this week. Development was quite active nevertheless, with new inline audio player landing and master, work on the room settings, and work on improving the image viewer. So yes, cool. Lots of stuff happening with the GNOME guys. That is it for the community updates that I've seen. I'm going to go and invade the office. Okay, Matrix Live is live. Who wants to talk? Here's Neil and Amber. Hey. Oh, and you can see a wild JCG in the background as well. Cool. So, what's been going on with you guys this week? Amber here, which is news in itself.
Yeah, I broke a lot of things and then fixed them.
Cool. So fixing is good.
Yes, yes.
So Python 3, I think?
Yeah, so lots of incremental progress. Python 3 and PyPy and all that sort of stuff. It's not fully there yet, but it's making its way.
Okay, cool.
With small progress on stuff we haven't had the bandwidth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before. So.
Which is especially good considering it's like 1 month in. Suddenly having visual progress.
Yes.
Pretty good, really.
So hopefully we should have a working version on Python 3 soon. TM. Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome. And we're also, in a sense, saying goodbye. You're going back to Australia.
Yes.
But you'll still be working on Matrix from there.
Yes.
Just not sat
from
right there.
my bedroom.
Okay. Presumably you have a desk or something.
Oh yeah, I've got a desk, and it's not actually in my bedroom, but
okay.
you know, it's sort of
yeah,
might as well be.
Okay, philosophically.
I think it's worth noting that Amber found that the English weather is too hot.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I heard that.
I came expecting something out of, like, I watched Skyfall the other week, and it was all rainy and stormy and miserable. And I'm like, I'm going to experience that next week.
All right, I'm gonna edit this for being on topic. So what else, Neil?
Oh, all right. So week before last, we had our big get together. One of the key things we wanted to get out of that was looking at an R0 release of all our APIs, so not just the customer server API, but everything else, and particularly thinking about server-to-server APIs. So we did a bunch of work there, and now we're going through the task of trying to close a whole bunch of holes, and we're going to release this as we go. Some of these things we can't really talk about ahead of time, but we will shout about them very, very loudly as we get them done, and then also working through the spec as well as part of that whole R0 release. So that's really all I've got to say on that right now, but we'll keep talking about it and keep everyone in the loop.
No, I mean, yeah, I think it's well, documented. The process is up, so I feel like it's great. It's great. The movement is happening.
Actual movement.
Pretty excited about that.
We're pretty excited for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to spend a very brief time in the ops world. Hello, goodbye. So you've been working in the ops department for the last couple of months with us. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Just you're leaving, but you'll continue to do this from Germany.
Yeah. So I've been here now for 3 months.
Yeah.
as an intern, and I'll be doing the same things basically for another 3 months, but from Germany.
Right. Great.
And so I've been. What have I been working on? The status page that's not ready yet. Hosted home service which is not ready yet.
Well, I mean, it's incremental movement there.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's just close, but not quite there.
Cool.
And yeah.
And after 3 months, you're going to go back to studying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
just regular computer science.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I will see you very briefly in a second. Anyway, we'll see you in the pub. Let's see what else we got. There's one here. I found one here. Look at this one. So, what do we have? I have various things from you. This is Halfshot.
Yes.
aka Will. He's working on bridges. What have you got?
At the moment, as right now, dealing with fires.
Okay.
But, you know.
So that's IRC.
Yes, IRC, loads of IRC stuff. Let's see, lots of bug fixes, like if you PM the bridge, people on the bridge, it'll now tell you if it doesn't go through, why it hasn't gone through, rather than leaving you blank.
Okay.
Gitter bridge, lots of love and attention, little things like stopping it from crashing, which I think is quite nice. People like it doesn't crash.
Yeah. That's a preference.
Performance fixes for bridging, so we're looking to make silence and events through faster and filtering out the ones we don't care about, so don't speed things up. In the future, there's going to be Riot-y, integration-y, bridgey things, hopefully.
I'm pretty excited about this UI Riot business. This
Right,
is
so
very early days, though. I think.
Very early days, and there's a proposal me and Travis and Noah sort of looked through, which is basically rich bridging. So when you add a bridge, it will show up in the UI. You've added this bridge. It's in progress. This is what's happening. Here's how you kick the bridge out. Here's who's connected through your bridge. So like a massive in-depth showing you what's actually going on. Because right now, Matrix is not too sure what's being bridged.
Definitely.
And it's a cool thing we can do. It's all being looked at. You can look at a proposal very soon. Anybody can have a look at it. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Everything.
This is good.
Oh yeah. Also, GimpNet, we've got connection-y. So there was a 2,000k limit. No, 2,000k. 2k limit on connections on GimpNet, which we've bumped up to 3k. The request of the admins of them.
Cool.
So everything will go a bit faster in GimpNet as well.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, things are looking better for bridges.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got somebody working on it essentially full time.
Yes.
You know, it's really which it didn't have at all.
And we've got a IRC release coming out very shortly. It's already on our release candidate, which hasn't been done in a year. So first release in a year.
So progress. Okay.
Yeah.
What is this, and why is it on your desk?
I was given a floppy disk. I need someone that can read it. If you've got a floppy disk out there, can you read my floppy disk for me?
Right. We'll leave that. We'll park that. By which I mean leave it. All right. Who else we got? This guy. I recognise him. This is a Noah, aka Andrew.
Hello.
So what's going on? You're a fellow intern.
I am a fellow intern.
Let me grab my book. And you've been working on Dendrite.
Yes. So still working on getting application services up and running really well.
Yeah.
So last week we had Discord bridged, and that was great. But that was running on a branch where a lot of things were sort of stacked on top of each other. So now that's been all disassembled and put into various different PRs, and now we're just going through the churn of getting all of that merged.
Yep.
Otherwise, in terms of PRs, we had Mohit come back and fix up some of his old PRs, which was really appreciated. I was looking at some of those today. And then also, of course, AP White Hat is doing his Federation stuff, which is looking really good.
And that's GSOC, right?
GSOC, yeah, our Google Summer of Code student. Ideally, I think he wants to get Federation mostly finished up by the end of his time here with us, which will be in August.
Okay.
No pressure. But yeah, it is looking really nice. We're going through side tests and getting that all cleared up. And then in general, we're just doing some maintenance stuff on Dendrite, upgrading the Go version, getting our CI working faster, and yeah, just generally making things nicer to develop on. So if you want, come in. We have issues.
So for context, for a complete, idiot, how could you run Dendrite in the wild? Like, could you reasonably run it yourself and use it as a home server?
So assuming it's like production ready, it's quite simple. We have two modes of running it. One is just a monolith mode, where it's just a binary already compiled for you. You basically just start it and it's done, it's running. The second mode is if you are actually going to be setting up and running with a whole bunch of different users. that is multi-process mode, and that's a lot more scalable, where you actually have all the different components of a Matrix home server running in separate processes and all talking to each other over Kafka, and you can run multiple instances of those processes, like you can run multiple app service components or what have you, if you have a lot of that going on and you need more horsepower there. So, so it should be really scalable and really nice once it's ready. In terms of how ready it is, we're still filling in gaps in the API, and also getting SciTest has been quite helpful in letting us see what is and isn't there. At the moment, it's passing a number of tests, less than 100. There's 600 in total. But we're just going through and getting it all done and getting some good feedback from the community as well. But yeah, in terms of application services, if anyone wants to try their bridges or whatever on it, feel free. I'll just talk in the Dendrite dev channel and I'll help you out.
Cool. Ping this guy. I know it. He's all over the rims.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Okay, who else we got? It's the Riot team. Oops, Daisy. They come as a unit. They come as a trilogy. Okay, introducing the characters. Sorry, can you
Get some jungle in there.
Yeah.
Jungle. There we
So
go.
we have a healthy office that involves, greenery. Greenery. Okay. Let you guys talk. So what's been going on in Riot World this week?
So we
Sorry, I
we
can't.
released some things that we'd sort of done previously,
Mhm.
and credit goes to Michael for a couple of those. Then we've got the
Quite a lot of those, I think.
quite a lot of those. The sort of the two big things: the replies and
Yeah.
the room link share.
Yeah. No, I like the room link share using Matrix
Yeah.
up to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's got a QR code, and who doesn't have a QR code? Jitsi,
Yeah.
Jitsi, that's
Right,
it.
don't.
You can have that back. So that's what they've been working
Yes.
this week. What is it?
So
Not what
we've been
is
promising for ages and ages and ages that we were going to replace the video conferencing in Riot with you press a button and it fires up Jitsi automatically rather than our video conferencing server, which should be more reliable and more decentralizable. But we've just not found the bandwidth to do it, and this week I finally got some bandwidth to work on it.
I think it's in mobile, isn't it, already?
It is in mobile, yes, already.
But it is a little bit trickier in web because there's more. I mean, mobile lends itself to being in one room at a time, and then it's quite obvious what you're trying to do when you leave that room. Mobile and web less so. So the other thing is about this guy.
Poor Luke. What are we gonna do?
I don't know really. Luke's added an awful lot of value with it. How long he's been here? Longer than me. 2 years.
More than 2 years.
More than 2 years.
Right.
But he's moving on to Masters New. But you're not leaving the ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I'm fully intending to continue to contribute in the form of my own personal project that people might have heard of already called Journal. I'm interested in making it easy to write Matrix apps on the web very, very easily in the context of some existing web framework, model frameworks such as Redux or the like. So that's where I'll be working or delivering some of my time to in the next month or so.
Okay.
So we'll hear about you in this week in Matrix stuff.
Maybe
Oh,
will.
yeah.
I mean, if I make progress, hopefully I make progress.
Maybe.
No,
Definitely.
you got to commit. All right, cool. So, if it's not known, Journal is a way of rendering. It's a blog engine backed by Matrix. It's a way of rendering Matrix rooms as if it were a blog, which is pretty neat because you want to make a post, go ahead and type into a Riot room, and your post will be there. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, that's everybody on my list. If there were other people, then sucks to be them. So until next week, this is Matrix Live. Thanks again.
There's my hand.
Oh, there's your hand.